Greetings, viewers. This is King H from Southern Cameroon, Ambazonia. Welcome to my platform. This is a Pan African platform. Please like, share, and subscribe. The discussion of today has to do with the special status and how the so called CPDM Anglophone elites are reacting to these so called special status, which they actually call an empty special status. One of the CPDM Anglophone elites stated that they are frustrated at the centralized, decentralized process. If it was supposed to be decentralized, why is it still centralized? Because there are certain words that La République, French Cameroon used to dupe, to fool, to bamboozle Southern Cameroonians, Anglophone Cameroonians, to make them feel that they belong to the nation known as Cameroon, which in actuality they don't belong to that nation. They know Southern Cameroonians do not belong to Cameroon, but they still use Southern Cameroonians to believe that they belong to the nation known as Cameroon. In reality, we don't belong. Even though their laws state that in order for you to be a Cameroonian, you must come from Southern Cameroon and East Cameroon. But how is the reality between Southern Cameroonian citizens and East Cameroonians? How is the reality? The reality is that they're just using us, Southern Cameroonians, to achieve their goal, their aim, which is to utilize all the resources in Southern Cameroon for the benefit of them, not in interest in sharing the resources with the citizens of Southern Cameroonians. One thing that I noticed as I watched the 2 hours, 17 minutes of discussion between Dr. Cho Ayaba and Professor Carson Anyangwe is the fact that Southern Cameroonians from way back during the time when they were having this so-called unification or so-called unity between West Cameroon or Southern Cameroon with East Cameroon, we were duped thinking that, you know, East Cameroonians will keep up to their worth. But till today, some gullible Southern Cameroonians, including some gullible elites of Anglophone Cameroonians, think that they belong to that nation known as Cameroon. But in actuality, they don't see us as Cameroonians. They don't want us as Cameroonians, but they want the resources, they want the land known as Southern Cameroon without the people who come from that land known as Southern Cameroon. So in reality, we don't have a nation unless we decide, as we have decided, to continue to fight for our nation known as Southern Cameroon, which will be renamed as Ambazonia. That is the ultimate goal that all Southern Cameroonians, all Anglophone Cameroonians need to focus on. Achieving complete sovereignty as a nation. We will be more powerful, we will be more independent, and we will be much more in control of our destiny. But sticking with a nation like East Cameroon or French Cameroon or the people across the Mongol, our destiny will never be in our hands. Our children and children's destiny will never be in their hands. I'm saying this because there's some gullible Southern Cameroon, some gullible Anglophones, some gullible elites of Anglophones who still think and believe, even after expressing their frustration against what they are facing with the centralized, decentralized process. If the process was decentralized, then all authority should not be coming from the centralized government, meaning that Southwest and Northwest will have some autonomy over their regions or state or whatever you want to call it. But in reality, we don't we're not in control of our destiny, even though they try to say that, oh, with special status we have some control, but in reality we don't. And this is why the elites of southern Cameroon or the elites of Anglophone are frustrated with Yaoundé. As a matter of fact, Chief Ebako cried out and said Yaoundé has completely hijacked the voice of the people. When the people spoke and rose against the government and spoke passionately, powerfully to them so as to achieve something inside southern Cameroon or inside northwest and southwest, inside the two regions. Well, all that passion, that determination was for nothing because they still don't see your 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 significance of expressing yourself in a nation that you're supposed to belong. They don't see the significance, which is why this chief said Yaoundé has completely hijacked the voice of the people. So, Southern Cameroonians, if you don't fight, if you don't continue to fight to liberate our homeland, your voice will be hijacked by Yaoundé, it will be hijacked by French Cameroonians. Senator Mckee Charles expressed his frustration, condemning the manner in which the Ministry of Decentralization and Local Development has been managed or has managed affairs. He also stated that purchases and installation of computer software in French language in Northwest and Southwest were all assembled by Yaoundé. If they were all assembled by Yaoundé and sent to Northwest or Southwest, then there is no decentralization. The whole so-called special status was a hoax. And which means that from this moment, all complete determination to see our homeland free must continue. They have made it point blank that they don't give a damn about what we're saying. They don't give a damn about what we're doing. They don't give a damn about the death of our people. They don't give a damn about burning over 500 villages in our country, in our state. They don't care. So long as they can achieve what they want to achieve, they will continue to kill Southern Cameroonians. In other words, Southern Cameroonians, we don't have no Jesus Christ coming to save us. We don't have no Mohammed. We don't have no religious saint or whoever you want to call it coming to save Southern Cameroon. The people of Southern Cameroon will have to save the people of Southern Cameroon, meaning that united force of Southern Cameroonians is the key to liberating ourselves and liberating our nation. Excessive control of regional councils by Ministry of Decentralization. So decentralization is still working as a centralized entity. All this is a sham. The people of Southern Cameroon, the people of West Cameroon, the people of Northwest and Southwest don't have no control over their destiny. Only French Cameroonians have a control over our own destiny. And if Southern Cameroons or the few Southern Cameroonians don't want to see the truth and decide to put their hands with French Cameroonians, thinking that their destiny will be better, well, it's time to wake up and see the roses. It's time to wake up and see reality and see the truth that nothing will change unless we change it as we have decided to. As a matter of fact, it comes to this. One thing I wanted to add to this is the fact that more houses have been razed, have been burned down in Bui division as military raids mellow. Several casualties, one being a pregnant woman, was shot with a bullet in her stomach. Oh, around Kona Water in Kumbu. So more of our people are being killed by the people who have decided to give us special status, who have decided to decentralize the central power. But in reality, it's not decentralized, it's still centralized decentralization. Centralized decentralization process is still centralized, regardless if you call it centralized decentralization process. It's not decentralized, it's still centralized. They're trying to play with words, saying that they're doing this, meanwhile, in actuality, they're doing that. And if we don't see that truth, which is exactly what they actually use against us, against our forefathers when they came together, they manipulated, used them. And because our forefathers had fought so hard to leave Nigeria, the energy to see through what French Cameroonians were doing was not there, which is why, after fighting so hard to leave Nigeria, we were easily um, put in this position with, you know, these so-called French Cameroonians, these so-called East Cameroonians, these so-called people across the Mongol were put in this situation. But all is not lost so long as the people in southern Cameroon believe in the dream of a free nation, of a sovereign nation, of a nation known as Ambazonia. Our hope will still be actualized so long as we keep fighting. There's one thing I wanted to say to the US Embassy in Yaoundé that came out and said that 5 years sentence was given to two transgendered women, and they are concerned. The U.S. Embassy in Yaoundé were concerned about these two people that were arrested for practicing um, homosexuality. Meanwhile, according to the law in Cameroon and many countries in Africa, homosexuality is against the law. Practice it, they see you, you get arrested, and you're thrown in prison. It's the law in Cameroon. But U.S. Embassy the U.S. Embassy in Yaoundé, they have their own agenda in Cameroon, and one of their agenda is to see that the thrive of LGBT in Cameroon exists, and not just French Cameroon, as well as Southern Cameroon. They want LGBT to thrive because they have an agenda, and not just in Cameroon, but in the whole of Africa. In a way, it's colonization all over. They are still using colonization in a different way to push down their own agenda. Before they used with force, now they are being manipulative. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because the U.S. Embassy in Yaoundé could speak up for these two LGBT people or gay people, but people are being killed in southern Cameroon, like the pregnant woman with a baby shot with a bullet and killed, and many others in southern Cameroon who have been killed, and the U.S. Embassy in Yaoundé do not say anything about it. But when it comes to LGBTQ and the arrest of gay people, oh, that's their own fight. They could see us die in our country. They could see Africans die in our country. So long as the agenda that they're trying to carry across is not being executed, they don't give a fuck. They don't care about black people. They have an agenda. And if Africans will see that they have an agenda, well, those gullible ones will try to fight and create more chaos in Africa because of LGBT. Meanwhile, African cultures in reality are not truly free because we're still going through neo-colonization by the hands of non-Africans. But no, it's okay for them to push their own agenda, the LGBT agenda that they have in the continent of Africa, but they won't speak when black people are being killed in the continent of Africa. As a matter of fact, look at what is happening in the United States. Many black people are being killed daily. Do the white people speak up for the black people? No. So long as they're dying, they don't give a damn. But when it comes to the LGBT, what did they do with Black Lives Matters? They use LGBT to push on the Black Lives Matter. But at the end, black people are still getting killed. And then some gullible black people are only there pushing for LGBT. LGBT would not give us economic freedom that has been taken away by non-black people in the continent of Africa or wherever you have black people. It would not. But some people some blacks are gullible, or believe they're gays, practice that they're gays, and then want to force their gayism on others. If that's what you're doing, that's fine. That's up to you. But don't push it in my continent. If the West is practicing doing LGBT, that's them. Why? It's against it's against the law in Cameroon and against the law in many countries in Africa. Homosexuality, if you're caught that you practice it, well, you are arrested and you spend time in jail. But again, as I said, the U.S. Embassy in Yaoundé will not speak up for Southern Cameroonians who are being killed day in, day out in Cameroon, but will only speak up for two gay people. That is the hypocrisy of Western world. And some people will buy into the ideas thinking that they are fighting for a whole new liberation. Meanwhile, the continent of Africa and black people globally are not truly free. They're not. But that is the world we live in. So, Southern Cameroonians, those so-called elites of Anglophone, it's time to change the strategy. There is no future with La République du Cameroon. The best thing all the elites in Southern Cameroon could do is to help secretly fund the military of Southern Cameroon, because when that nation becomes free, not only you will enjoy, your children will enjoy, your children will enjoy. But so long as we take our hands and give it to or take our destiny and give it to La République du Cameroon, we will never be free. It's time for all the elites in Anglophone to think and act boldly. You don't have to be at the front line again fighting for this war. Support Southern Cameroon secretly by giving funds to the military. You have the money. That's why you're elite. You make money, enough money to support a war that will free the nation that was hijacked by French Cameroonians. It's time for us to regain our independence, our true sovereignty, our true freedom, and chart our way forward. But if we continue to think that we belong with French Cameroonians, well, it's all Southern Cameroons might as well run across the ocean and try to make it to Italy, which they are now blocking everybody from entering because Cameroon is a sinking nation, and the only way forward for all Southern Cameroonians is to fight for liberty, liberation, freedom, sovereignty of our own nation. That is the key. And we can do this. There are 4 vital counties, or if you want to call it states, because some people are calling it states, some people are calling it counties. 4 vital counties or 4 vital states: Dian, Manyu, Momo, Menchu. These 4 counties or states are closer to Nigeria. If we can control those states, it'll be easy to bring more weapons inside Southern Cameroon to defeat the forces of La République de Cameroon, who are already in all our 14 states or 14 counties in Southern Cameroon. That's one strategy. Another strategy is the county militia. All militia who are fighting for true liberation in Southern Cameroon must work as a team in their counties and move forward to other counties as they progress. We do this unitedly, the chances of us liberating Southern Cameroon grows tremendously. We can defeat La République de Cameroon so long as the leaders in the diaspora and the leaders on ground zero and the soldiers on ground zero who are giving their life for this revolution work as a team, a united Ambazonia team that is fighting to liberate Southern Cameroon. We do that, we can achieve and control our territory, and Cameroon will become a sinking nation because they have more problems, and France is going down because the method they used in the past cannot continue to be used into the future because many French African nations are waking up and are fighting to truly liberate their countries because their countries are not truly liberated. When your currency is made in francs, when everything is controlled by francs and you're supposed to be an independent nation, are you truly free? No, you're not. So Southern Cameroonians, we have a great journey ahead if we truly want to liberate our nation. Yes, many people die, but Floyd Lumumba said, corruption has taken so many lives than revolution. So now we may see the numbers rising, but if we succeed in defeating La République de Cameroon, you compare the casualties of war, of revolution, to the casualties that we've had with corruption as a nation of as Cameroon, a corrupt nation. Many people have died because of the corrupt Cameroon. And we must make sure that we eliminate or defeat corruption in southern Cameroon as we become a nation, because that kills more people than even revolution. Without which, this is King HU. Like, subscribe, share your thoughts. Till next time.